Hi everybody, I'm Chef Jeffrey Gardner from Southern Kitchen. Today I'm going to be making one of my favorite appetizer spreads or dips in the whole wide world, chicken liver mousse. As you can see, I've got all my ingredients laid out before me, but for a full list and recipe, scroll down below. To start though, I've got some melted butter in a pan. We're going to have brown butter be the base, or what's going to help puree our chicken livers into a mousse. You may have heard of it, but brown butter involves melting down butter. We're going to separate the milk solids from the fat and allow the milk solids to toast on the bottom of the pan. This is going to give a flavor that's just nutty, earthy, deep, truly delicious. This is going to be something you're going to want to stick with for a while. Don't go do something else or leave it, because once the butter starts to brown, it can go from brown to black very quickly. While our butter is browning though, I want to season our chicken livers. So we've taken about a pound of fresh Springer Mountain chicken livers and we've patted them dry very thoroughly with a paper towel. That's possibly the most important step, because once we add livers, which naturally have a lot of water in them, to a hot skillet with butter or oil, we don't want them to sputter up too much on us and burn us. So starting with them dry not only will help protect us, but will have some beautiful caramelized notes carrying through. It's just a good amount of kosher salt. You could add any other spices you may like, but I think just salt will be good. We'll give it a nice toss. Our skillet is preheating over medium heat. Our butter's getting very close. You can see it starting to brown on the sides of our pan, so we're just going to keep swirling it so it cooks evenly. You'll see the foam will start to turn from that cloudy white foam to larger bubbles. Will start to look clarified here. There we go. That's perfect right there. We're going to turn our heat off and move this to a different burner. Just keep swirling it around. We want just beyond golden, kind of medium browned. Now that our butter is off the heat, we have our cast iron skillet over medium heat. We're going to melt a little bit more butter. This will help add an even richer flavor to our mousse and help the chicken livers carry a little more browning throughout. Now I'm going to use tongs for this just to further protect myself. We're going to arrange the livers away from us and then working towards us. Your great sizzle coming out of the pan here. Trying to give our livers ample space in between. And now this is where you're going to want to keep an eye on them for a little while. Try not to stand directly over the pan. They do have a tendency to pop up. If you wanted to use a splatter guard, like a wire mesh screen, that would work just as well. Very important that you don't overcook your chicken livers. We're going to cook these to somewhere between medium rare and medium on the first go around. Then we're going to add them back to the pan after we've developed our flavor. If you overcook livers much beyond medium, then they have a tendency to taste a little grainy and have that iron kind of livery flavor that most people associate with bad chicken liver experiences. A little bit of pink is okay, especially if you're getting your livers from Springer Mountain Farms. We've got some caramelization starting to develop, so we're going to turn these over now. Try and work as quickly as you can. We're just going to cook these on this side for about another 15 to 20 seconds. They'll be nice and medium rare on the inside, and then we'll transfer them to our bowl. All right, it's time to remove the livers from the skillet. Now, we've just developed some wonderful flavor in here, and we're going to lift some of that up and build the base of our mousse. So I have some finely chopped shallots here. Shallots are a great place to start, kind of that liver and onions play. And I've got some Granny Smith apple diced very finely. I'm just going to stir this around until the shallots start to soften. While this is cooking down, we're also going to add some thyme. We're going to fish this out a little bit later and make sure that it doesn't go into our final puree. So we're just going to leave the whole sprigs in here. You could tie them together if you like. We've got a lot of sweetness from the apple. As the shallots cook down, they're going to develop some sweetness as well. The thyme is just going to give a nice earthy, herbaceous note to the mousse. The aromas in here are fantastic. Now we're going to add a little bit of chopped garlic. We didn't want to add it too early because we don't want the garlic to burn before the vegetables have a chance to finish softening. And just give this a stir until your garlic smells nice and fragrant, maybe looks a little golden. I'd say about 30 seconds. Now that everything is softened, it's time to add some booze. I like to add two different types of alcohol to my chicken liver mousse. One spirit, so this is going to be bourbon going in. And then something like a fortified wine. You can use sherry, which is what I'm using here. It's just going to help round out the flavors. Just cook it until most of the liquid has evaporated and you don't have that raw alcohol smell in the air. Our bourbon and our sherry have reduced. Now we're going to get rid of the thyme. Just kind of grab some of the sprigs. You can put them in the same bowl that they came out of. Wonderful. Now we're going to add the livers back to the pan and just give everything a stir. to make sure they're nicely coated with everything that we've developed earlier, the apples, the shallots. Let everything marry together. Again, very important that we don't overcook these. So now that everything's combined, we're going to puree all of this together in our food processor. With about a 1-pound batch of livers, you should be able to fit everything in one batch. If you wanted to scale this up and make more, I would just do this in 2 steps. We're going to put the lid back on and go for the brown butter that we made earlier. So what we want to do is get a good pulse or puree going on the livers and then use the feeding tube in the top of your food processor to slowly stream in the brown butter. It always helps to prime it just a bit, let it puree a touch before you start adding the fat in. That way it just makes everything smoother and creamier as we go along. All right, this has a wonderful, smooth, creamy consistency to it. As you can kind of see right here, just flows off the end of our spatula. So now that our liver mousse is seasoned, we've got our serving bowl over here. I love to eat chicken liver mousse while it's still warm. And you can serve this on whatever you like, just some toasted grilled bread. I've got some toasted rye right here. You could serve this with any kind of fruit jam or jelly that you like. And there you have it. It's just that easy. Chicken liver mousse. For more recipes like this, visit springermtn.com. See you next time.